Alright, here we are. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 14 of the Season of Ghosts campaign. So, about last time, that was, horrendous. I think you can all agree that the rolls were too bad. Like, literally too bad for the party to do anything different in any way. So, what we said about last time is that snakes paralyzed the party, but went off to kill Inko because they prefer turtle meat instead of party meat. So, everyone sort of awakens pretty badly worn out, but maybe also with a hint of experience. Got them up to level 5. I know it says level 4 above me, but just leveled them up right here, and we'll go along with that. With that being said, who wants to do the recap this week for extra hero point?
I think I can.
Sure.
We started the session fighting a vulture and some cacao demons. They were quite violent, but more importantly, the vulture was intelligent, which was strange. It was not a long battle. We dispatched it pretty easily, and in its beak, or at least what it was pecking at, was a still beating heart, undamaged but alone. Picking it up, the forest grew hostile, and though we couldn't understand the threat or see it, we knew to run. And ran we did, back to the corpse we had found previously to replace the heart. On the way there, both Yuga and Liaodon were able to do some prayers to keep the forest somewhat calm, but once we planted the seed, as we were told, the fog dispersed, and we found ourselves on a clear path. Headed north a little bit, we ran into...
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. A kappa. That's what they're called, right? Kappas?
Yep, turtle guys.
Yeah. We ran into a kappa. He was scared. He said, "Don't send me back." And his head was empty. There was no water in it. He had clearly been here for a long time, seemingly trapped by someone else. I don't recall if he told us who had trapped him.
A woman named Iogaka, a storm
Iogaka.
mother.
But we convinced him to calm down, that we weren't foes, and that we would help him. In hindsight, that it seemed like we could have, but things went poorly after that. We went north and came to this clearing that we are at now, this lake, and ran into two twin-headed vipers. Things got bad. Everyone rolled poorly. The snakes rolled amazingly. They succeeded on all their saves and got crits. And by the end of the battle, 2 of us were paralyzed, 2 of us were unconscious, and unfortunately, as a consequence, we have lost the kappa. All that's left is a shell.
Unfortunately so. But, luckily, the snakes seem to be nowhere to be seen now. They seem to have had their fill. And you all are a little worse for wear. But on these now calmer shores of Mirror Lake, as the Kappa called it, you might have some time to at least recover from your wounds. And actually, as you look out across the lake, sort of at the other end, near sort of a confluence where a river goes into the lake, there is a bridge that goes across that river. And upon that bridge seems to be a covered shrine of some sort. Something tells you that that's supposed to be a resting spot for people that were on the Pilgrim's Path in times ago. Might be a good spot for you guys to find your rest, if you're able to
I
make
like
it the
that.
rest of the day. So, suffice to say, you don't get your spells back on this level up, nor do you get the new spells, I will say. You'll retain the spells you currently have, but you can heal up, of course, as normal. Because of medicine, stuff like that.
What about the alchemical formula I learned?
Yeah, you can mix them up if you really need to. Because you're
Gotcha.
versatile vials. But yeah. Move your tokens up to the north a little bit if you are finished with your level up, just so I know.
Shua looks at the remains of the Kappa, just dejected, disappointed, upset with himself.
Can't save them all. And Leodon, you are not finished because you need to do your attributes. Very important.
Do you? I do.
Yes.
You don't need those.
That's
Yeah, it's just
overrated.
a +1, you know. No big deal. Big power boost for you, actually. A bit of one, yeah. Battles in is good. And feel free to put your healths up to maximum because Yuga would spend an hour, you know, healing and refreshing you all.
Thank you.
It does get later though, as you guys are resting a little bit here. It's sort of in the evening. The sun hasn't set yet, but it already casts sort of long rays over the treetops and the forests or the wilderness that surrounds you.
That's probably fine for now.
Alright. I'd also like you guys to give yourselves 120 experience points for those snakes.
It was certainly an experience.
Yes.
Defeated by the snakes. 120 experience.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't die. You got past it. That's how XP works. But,
I feel like us not dying might be a bit of a stretch.
yeah. Anyway. As you guys look out towards that bridge on the other end of the Mirror Lake, I assume you guys are heading in that direction.
It's the only landmark we really have at the
Not
moment.
much else to go without
Yep.
the local guide of sorts that we had.
Alright.
I hope
We'll
that,
be okay.
hope that Storm Mother doesn't find us. I would hate to be bothered or cursed or whatever.
Guys head over in that direction. Shigu, Yuga, Minako, Leodon, Belzen. You find yourselves at this bridge here. As the path leads up to the river's edge, where a 20-foot wide rope bridge hangs a half dozen feet over the slowly flowing river's surface below. There's a hexagonal wooden shrine that stands in the center of the river, its roof providing shelter from the elements while also offering a viewing portal rather, in the center to allow those in the shrine to contemplate the river's flow below. Several long-handled dippers for bringing up draughts of river water for drinking lean against the central hole's railing, along with half a dozen delicate-looking clay vials. A total of 6 wicker mats lie around this central hole, affording places to sleep as the river flows below.
Quite a convenient place to stop for the night.
Is it weird that I'm thinking
gonna
about how
trust
the
it.
ghost water will taste?
Shugo's gonna look over the side of the bridge towards the water. Doesn't look like normal water to me.
Roll a perception check.
Where were
Okay.
those last week?
As you step a little bit onto the bridge, you have a look down at the water. And the currents are sort of sloshing here and there, but your eyes, your keen eyes, begin to pick up glimpses. Glimpses of faces, arms, bodies, moving, grasping, weaving. No, they're simply drowning in the water below. Ghostly images, sort of in tension on the water's surface.
I thought you were joking, Lydon. This water is very disturbing.
I was joking, but I'm glad to have confirmation that I definitely should not be drinking this.
Have I heard about this phenomenon? Is this something that is normal here in these rivers?
Roll me a religion check. And, you could roll Willowshore lore.
Gladly.
My religion is untrained. Can I still roll it?
You could ask somebody else to roll it. Because at this point in the campaign, untrained skills are, almost never going to work.
Hey,
I
one
have
of you
society.
guys, do it for me. Religion. It's religion.
Oh, I'll aid on his religion.
No, I'm not making the religion check.
Does this apply to my Path of Enlightenment investigation?
Yes, it does. So, Yuga, your insight into this isn't really about the ghosts, but is about the bridge itself. You thought that, this shrine was washed away a decade ago during a flood. Yet here it stands, looking well cared for, crossing the gap. Doesn't add
A
up.
decade ago.
Liadon, as you look into the waters here, you realize this must be some manifestation of, well, that wall of ghosts to be carrying those figures through these flows, these waters. And, well, you wouldn't want to go any further across this bridge unless you took care of them. Which could be a religion or intimidation check to, well, show the spirits that you are not to be trifled with.
Well, I will gladly pray using my connection to Pharasma.
Alright.
I suppose Shugo can kind of help as well with intimidation to kind of, like you said, show that we aren't going to be cowed by these ghosts in the water.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's about right.
3 of the dice for Yuga. Shugo, as intimidating as you are, Yuga seems unable at this time to fully grasp the right prayers to help these disquiet spirits. And at this point, you're not sure if you're going to be able to, come up with the right words, since you've already failed.
Well, maybe we just have to cross quickly and cross to the shrine. Maybe we can't stay here.
What if instead of crossing quickly, we try to avoid these spirits' notice?
And how do you propose we do that?
That's by being very quiet.
We could try that.
We just need to hope that there's no squeaky planks or anything there.
Looking up and down the river here, are there any other crossings, or is this the only one?
This seems to be the only one. And you also get a feeling that if you went off the beaten path, you would have a hard time finding your way to the monastery.
Yeah. Well, unless the two of you have anything to do to help with this. If you can maybe know of any prayers or anything that might help. We might just have to go on.
Well, I could always try and rack my brain for something, but I'm not as well versed on these matters as you guys.
I'd be better off countering something that's actively in front of us. Or at
Why
least...
am I struggling with this so much?
The Adon as well. You rack your brain, but the particular flow of these ghosts and their meandering attitudes, you feel like you have to say something or pray in some certain way that would coincide with the metaphorical meaning of this river of souls. And it just doesn't come to you, it doesn't come to Yuga.
I just don't feel anything you could say would be adequate enough for these ghosts. Perhaps just sneaking by is our best option at this point.
No. Give me another hour, another 2 hours. I can come up with something if we just wait and think and wait.
We might not have that time.
Well, let's just try to cross and hope for the best, then be sneaky about it.
Deal with whatever comes. That's what I say.
Alright,
We're gonna just try to cross.
so
Well, I'm trying to be sneaky about it at least.
go ahead and roll your stealth check.
I don't like this, but we can try.
Should I be sneaky?
Everybody should be sneaking. Unless
Okay, I'll be sneaky.
Do you want to make noise? Like, is that your goal?
Not my goal. Oh, okay. I didn't roll the lowest, so I don't feel that bad.
so.
Okay.
As you guys cross, and you're trying to be as, careful, light-footed as possible, you make it to about the midpoint here. Say like that. And as you get about here, the river seemingly begins to churn, more and more, supernaturally so. As you're on this central sort of platform, all of a sudden, all around you, They're scratching, clawing, as these many hands, so many, uncountably, begin to claw their way up from the river's waters. They're able to claw over, underneath the floorboards, through them even, in many different places. They seem to be clawing you, trying to pull you down with them into the river itself. But before you can respond, you also notice a second horror, this gout of water that rises from the center of the platform. In it, bubbling up, are these many, many, many leeches that squirm and writhe and seemingly even at random intervals spell out words. Actually, no, only one word, Kugopti, written in their many writhing bodies. So for the purposes of this, I need everyone's initiatives.
I stealthily let out a loud shriek of terror.
As soon as their hands started grasping up, Liaodon immediately began diving for the ladle, only to immediately back away again once the leeches started rising.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll... Actually, I'm not gonna roll stuff for this. Because stuff is worse.
We didn't rest. No.
You did not, no. You have what you have.
Okay, I can work with this.
Arms of the drowned and the
Remember,
brutally
I have reactions.
Yes, you do. So, as you guys arrive here, those arms, as they're sort of shooting out of the water, they begin to grab and shake the bridges and even the platform itself. I need everyone to make a reflex save as it sways from side to side. That is their reaction to the start of combat. And then, well, their initiative is very high at 33, so they'll do something else as well.
God.
This is going about as well as I expected from last session.
Luckily, there is not a critical failure effect. Yuga and Leodon, you are simply knocked prone by the swaying of this bridge. Now, as the arms are grasping up, they go for Leodon, Yuga, and Shugo, in fact. Actually, no. Leodon, Yuga, and Baozin, because you're all three the closest to the water, including the water in the center. They're going to attack Baozin first. They will succeed, but it doesn't do any damage. It simply grabs you and tries to drag you towards the water, unless you can break free. Goes for Leodon, second, natural 20. Luckily, there is no other effect other than grab on this, even with a natural 20. They're just grasping at your clothes and trying to pull you down. You being prone doesn't help you all that much here. This one will be at map 10 against Yuga. Rolls a 12, still misses because of its map 10. Yuga, you're able to sort of scamper away from the grasp of the damned. Or drowned, rather.
I have my panic and fear to thank for that one.
Shugo, we go to your turn as those leeches writhe in their swarms.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on at once here, and Shugo doesn't like that. But there's a physical threat here that he can take care of.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to step up here, and he's going to, as disgusting as it is, he's going to try to bite these just to get a feel for what they might be capable of.
Okay.
If I can find the button.
Step up, start biting and toothing. There's not really other synonyms for biting. Anyway, you do hit.
Chewing.
Chewing, there we go. At these creatures. And as you do, that looks a little bit different. Why does it look... I don't know. Anyway, it does a little bit less than you would have hoped. Mostly because it's a swarm, and you know swarms have resistances to physical effects like that. So there's just too many of them, and you only have one mouth.
He's got multiple claws, so he's going to try to claw them as well.
Alright. 14 on the dice, that'll hit. Roll the damage. As you swipe into them there, 12 will be reduced a little bit, but you feel like you've actually taken out a good half of them at this point.
Well, that's all three of my actions.
Alright. Baozin, you're being grabbed by the claws, and if you feel like if you're letting them continue to grab you, next time they're going to try to pull you under.
Alrighty.
And I also note for you guys, you, in this, well, heat of battle, you have another chance to disable a device, the religion or intimidation, to stop the drowned from, well, attacking you. But that is 2 actions.
Oof.
I can't move because I'm okay. I think I'm gonna cast Haunting Him. Can that hit both of them? Can I angle that so it hits both of them?
Yeah. If you
Okay,
do it like
cool.
that hits both.
Yeah, like that. Okay.
So I'll
Have
roll
them
the
Fortitude.
I do need you to roll your grabbed manipulate action. There you go.
I forgot about that.
They don't disrupt your magical hymn here, as this sonic array shoots out across them. One fails, the other succeeds. And with this blast of sound, in fact, the one that failed, which I believe is
I
this one,
strum chords, shaking them.
takes quite a bit of
Yeah.
extra damage because it is an area of effect. The other one still takes pretty good damage, even though they succeeded.
Alrighty. Last thing I'm gonna do is try to escape. That's an unarmed attack, right?
Unarmed, athletics, or acrobatics, whichever is higher for you.
They are similar, so I'm just gonna do acrobatics.
Okay. You try to wriggle your way out from these claws. Unfortunately, that is 1 below the DC. Actually, no. It's weird. You have to have a grab, but it's not against their, I guess the DC would, yeah, the DC would be 20, unfortunately.
I'm gonna hero point that then, because
Okay.
I don't think I'll be able to resist them pulling me under.
13, much better. You are able to sort of wriggle your way out from their claws and get away for the moment. Alright. Yuga, we go over to you as you were sort of swayed to the ground, and then now they're grabbing up from underneath floorboards. Many parts of you. What do you do?
I don't love that. I don't love being down on the floor like this, where I'm even more vulnerable. So get up.
Okay.
And my options are I can either do the prayer or I can obliterate them with magic.
You can attack haunts. You certainly can.
You should work on disabling, in my opinion.
I will work on the prayer.
Alright, thinking again. As they're attacking you like this, maybe it gives you some insight into their fear or pain, whatever it is.
Sadly, since I was the prone and I don't really pray well on my back in the middle of combat, I don't have the action for guidance, so it's just going to have to be regular religion.
And with that, you offer up prayers to calm these unquiet spirits, and for a moment they resist the urge to let go, but your prayer, your faith, is much too powerful for these poor spirits. They take the lesson and retreat. Nobody is grabbed anymore.
Thank goodness.
Alright, that'll be you. Now, though, it is the leeches. These ones are going to... Actually, hold on. These guys are slow as fuck. They're gonna go 1, 2, 3. That's their turn. As they're slowly sort of shifting across, like, little insects that can barely move. They are just leeches, so they just wriggle slowly. This one is going to come here, though, and the remainder of those that Shugo was attacking are going to attack him. Shugo, I need from you, as per this, some... wait a minute, hold on. Did they forget the reflex save? Thank you, Paizo. Continuous Swarm. Oh wait, no, this is just automatic. Each enemy in the swarm space takes 2d6 and is explode. So, it's not going to do it twice because bleed is bleed. So I'm just going to roll this bleed out so you can take it onto yourself. And I need a fortitude save. There is no reflex save against these guys, mostly because they're so damn slow. Okay, alright. Completely opposite of the fucking rolls from last time, as they are not able to envenom you, but they are going to shift here from where they were earlier, as they sort of swarm into each other. Alright, Leodon. Prone, but no longer grabbed.
Bowsin, I might be able to do some solid, I'll take out a solid chunk of these leeches, but you might get caught in the crossfire, if that's okay.
What do you mean I'm gonna get caught in the crossfire?
Well, I've been lugging around some things here and there that, I probably should have used earlier, but,
I can't
Oh.
take it.
alright. First off, I'm gonna devise a stratagem
Okay.
on the weaker leech pile.
Mm-hmm. Think I can turn off the light effect because there's no more ghostly creatures. Okay,
like that.
well. 18.
Next, I'm going to draw one of the few alchemical bombs I've picked up in our travels, and that is this Firestone.
Yay!
And I'm going to immediately chuck it.
I'm just happy to see you using the consumable bombs as an investigator. It's one of the best things they can do. Because they know whether they're going to waste it or not.
It's so cool.
That's a crit. Even while prone, you slam it into it, and this burst of thunder just evaporates most of them. Well, let's see the damage roll first. The critical.
Well, obviously, I mean, I don't need to specifically aim it, so I hit both piles, but, you know, I'm hitting both.
There we go, yeah, 24 damage to that one. Yes, they are basically blown apart by the force of the sonic burst. The other ones also
I take
take
the
a total of
splash?
7. Yes, you do take the splash, Bazin.
Does
And
Minako take
Minako
the splash?
takes it, yes.
And Lighton and Yuga.
Yep,
Oh, I get to take it too?
because of how splashes work, they
yes.
always splash one tile around the creature that they hit, even though it's kind of weird that a big creature increases the splash radius.
Oh, that is bizarre. I don't actually know that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Oh, okay.
But we'll run it rules as written just because it actually benefits you sometimes too. If you keep it in mind, of course.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to claim the 10 HP from that one.
Okay, yes,
From
you
Death's Call.
call upon the souls of these many dead leeches.
If this even counts? Wait, is this not...
It's a creature.
creature?
Swarms are creatures for the purposes of abilities.
Okay.
If they weren't creatures, then a lot of stuff wouldn't work on them.
Yeah. Okay. I just had to ask.
Hmm.
What level?
Oh yes, they are level 4.
Very
But-
nice.
Leodon, is that your turn?
That should be all 3 of my actions.
Okay. The trap, the hazard is disabled. We go to Shugo.
Well, Shugo wasn't use his breath weapon. You know what? He's still gonna use his breath weapon.
Alright.
He's gonna blast out a wave of spiritual energy.
Okay. Make its fortitude save.
Okay.
It's, for some reason, you're not able to attack the spirit of these leeches. They sort of shield themselves against it. Oops, sorry, I hit my mic. But yes.
Well, now we know
Oh, no.
that leeches don't
Try to
have
take
spirits.
leeches.
They're
I
spiritless.
take leeches.
How dare they? I'm gonna stay where I am. That's my turn.
Okay. You'll take some bleed damage. You know how to go through that. Bowsin, your turn.
Alrighty, I am gonna throw another haunting hymn so that it hits only this group of leeches. Like I could just have it point north.
Another jarring, haunting hymn against these creatures. 13 still succeeds, but may still take a lot of
It's
damage.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm just gonna roll a 12.
11 damage. It's as if they failed as a normal. Okay, as a normal creature. But
Yep.
yes,
Then I'm gonna invoke Scamper to move. Yeah, get out of here.
Yep. Using your ancestry feats. Good.
And lastly, I'm gonna invoke one of my focus spells, Patron's Puppet, to get Minako to move here and to debuff the AC of the leeches in case
Okay.
somebody goes for a melee attack.
They're
Which I-
debuffed.
Yeah, let you go.
You go. Over to you.
Blasting time? I think it's
Matt.
blasting time. Okay. Let me see. Let me double check. Okay, there's 44. That's a 2d6. We were planning on recovering once we have the opportunity, so I might as well use my biggest attack spell yet. Inner Radiance Torrent.
Okay.
It's gonna fire a 60-foot line through both groups of the leeches, both the dead one and the living one, just right through the center of them.
Okay.
Blast it.
We'll roll their reflex saves, which is not exactly their best. 4 on the
That's
dice.
cool.
They fail. This beam of light shears through them for near maximum damage. The force of it, the other magical energy, just eviscerates them, and they are destroyed. I feel like Inner Radiance Torrent was a lot worse. I think it was like an attack spell or something like that before. Anyway, it's a lot better now. They are destroyed, and that is that combat. Well done. So, oops, no, not that. That's combat music. There we go.
That was not what I was expecting, but it went pretty well.
I do so detest killing.
Not leeches, though.
They do not seem to have a spirit from what I just experienced, so it's okay.
Oh, and
No.
give yourselves 80 experience points for that encounter.
The leeches are a lot more tolerable when you read about them in a book. Encountering them in person is horrid.
As calm has overtaken the bridge, covered but as it is by the sort of shingles above, the mats seem welcoming. This long journey today has been very tiring for you all.
She was gonna take a look in the water again before we do anything, just to make sure there's nothing in there anymore.
You look in, looking for the same signs you did before. It just flows calmly.
Well, it seems fine now, at least.
I do appreciate that.
Do we wish to stay here or keep moving?
I think here would be just fine. My
No,
feet
it's
are
good.
very tired.
Yeah, it would be good to rest, especially after all we've had to do.
Okay. So, you all rest for the night, assured in this place's tranquility, in the calm lapping of the water below, and of course the way you dispelled the evil spirits here, that it is going to be a restful and easy sleep. It is. You all awaken the next day feeling rejuvenated. More rejuvenated than you have in a long time. That rest felt energizing, even. You find, though, in the morning, that the dippers that sort of hang down, sort of along the edge here, I know that it looks like they're on the ground, but that's mapmaker error. They seem to be suspiciously filled with water. All 6 of them.
Intriguing. Might want to take a look at that.
Don't drink the ghostly leech water.
I mean, we put the spirits to rest, and we killed the leeches, so what's the problem?
Well, I don't think there was all of the leeches in this lake, I'll be honest.
Shugo's gonna pull one of the dippers up and take a look at the water inside of it.
The water looks perfectly fine. No leeches. Clear as anything, in fact. You also, as you pull it up, are filled with a strange urge to use them to fill the 6 delicate clay vials around the edge here.
Shugo will do that.
I want to help.
Is there any like significance to this from that he would know from his lore, from his religion?
Yes, in fact, because you follow Sangpo-Chi, you automatically notice, no check needed. You remember the story about how Zishui, on her path to the temple, spent a lot of time along the shore of Mirror Lake, and it provided her opportunity for self-observation and reflection. You know that she hoped that pilgrims, when stripped of the distractions of others and the mundane problems of daily life, they might see in their reflections a true vision of who they are when unburdened. To aid in this, each pilgrim would chant a repetitive prayer meant to invoke the cycle of reincarnation, then retire to sleep above the gently flowing waters. This seems certainly a part of that. And as you fill the clay vials with the help of Yuga, the vials all of a sudden sort of glow with a bit of light in their interior. This positive energy that you're able to identify in it seems to dispel apparitions. You also find laying nearby a wand. It seems to allow one to walk these paths even in extreme circumstances.
Arcane or divine? So that's for Yuga.
It's arcane, divine, primal, yes.
Actually, I picked up trick magic item this level.
Oh. Good level to do it.
Interesting.
One final thing, as you all awaken so energized, you feel a little lighter on your feet. You get a +1 bonus to your reflex saves.
You know, I feel inspired seeing those clay vials. I think they would make some excellent projectiles, if you ask me. So if there's no objections, I might scoop them up and use them for that.
Were
I
there,
won't stop you from taking it.
Were there only 6 of them here? Like 6 of the
Yes, there are only 6. Oh, and also give yourselves 40 experience points, before I forget.
I would prefer that you leave them here, because if they're part of this ritual, that would be tampering.
We can always bring some new clay vials here once we've dealt with the situation at the monastery.
You get the feeling you're supposed to take them with you. Nothing tells you that they have to stay here. They're like,
bring more when we're done.
you know, You remember, stories of people leaving this place carrying some of the water with them.
Was this true?
But yes, there they sit.
The other just begins gathering them up.
Might be useful in the trials to come as it is.
Alright. Yuga reinforces their mystic armor. You all are ready to proceed. You look out ahead of you. The day seems to start pretty overcast, with clouds growing ever darker.
Okay, looks like I'm fully ready. Good.
Alright.
Shall we continue our pilgrimage then?
I
Yes,
see
let's
no
go.
reason to wait.
Take our mind off of some of these things.
You cannot ride on me.
So you guys leave the bridge shrine behind. You begin to walk along the other shore of Mirror Lake, as this path seems to continue wrapping around it along the northern bank. Then up what seems to be, well, the West Sugi River, one of the rivers of this land here. As you guys are going along, though, basically by midday, rains begin falling from those dark clouds. Turn on some ambience. This one. There we go. No thunder, just a light rain. Not exactly a downpour, though it could get worse as you guys go along. But as you guys are going along the paths that still wind along the shorelines here, there is a pair of strange-looking, twisted, broken barrels of wood that rest on the forest side of the path.
Well, Suga will definitely pay attention to that. I'm assuming it's some sort of marker or ritual site.
Alright.
Wanna
Paying
take a
attention.
good look at that.
As you guys get closer, these burrows are strangely laid out. You are having a harder and harder time imagining that they're there for any ritual. In fact, as you get closer, about within 30 feet, those things start to shift, rolling on their sides, these burrows of wood, before they unburl themselves, before they sort of creak outward, stretching themselves out, seemingly having some sort of mind, strange mind of their own. They reveal themselves to be some horrendous amalgamation, great a maw around beady,
Ugh.
strange eyes. I need you guys' initiatives.
They don't look very friendly.
Don't like that.
Why are always such awful looking things invading places? Couldn't a group of fluffy cats have taken over the monastery instead?
Fortunately for you, it's only tears ahead. Leodon, you're first to go. What do you do?
Gonna have a good look at these fellas as I'm developing a stratagem and doing my recall knowledge at the same time.
Okay. A recall knowledge for these guys would be nature. Alright, well, your device of stratagem is a natural 20, but let's look at your recall knowledge as well. Almost another natural 20, went to the 8. A 17, though, you know how to hit it, but you're not sure what the heck it is.
He definitely knows, and he's going to make use of that. I change my grip on the crossbow. And I let loose.
Alright. As it's unfurling, you know this time is probably the best time to fire at them. They're not able to get their spindly legs sort of rooted in the ground, to dodge or anything like that. Make a clean shot straight for that head or whatever it is. Roll your crit. With your crazy sukung, that is going to deal a lot of damage. 31 points as it slams into the creature, dead on, rips through it. There's bark flying out its back even, but it's still shuffling forward. I think that'll be you.
Yep, that's all 3 of my actions.
As that creature shuffles forward, ignoring but also seeming heavily damaged by that arrow, it is going to, let's see, rush into the midst of you all faster than you would expect as it finally got its bearing. And as it gets to right about there, it is going to unleash a piercing shriek out from whatever is creating it in its deep bowels. Like one of those Aztec death whistles or something like that. It just tears into your minds. I need will saves all around.
All right.
Zero point.
29, 25 are both successes. 32 is a success from Yuga. Unfortunately, Shugo, you're the only one who fails. You are sickened too by that ear-piercing shriek. It sort of rattles your stone plate even in your body. The rest of you are sickened 1, even with a success. Its final action will be to bite with that strange circular maw of roots and vines, and it slams harshly into Shugo. Shugo, you take a total of 34 points of damage as it breaks into your scales. It can do no more. That'll be its turn. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, no. The other one is going to rush up into the fray as well. Rushing to about here alongside Bao Xin. This one is going to start straight with a jaw bite. 12 of the dice will hit, barely avoiding a crit there, as it deals 14 damage to you. However,
Ow.
it will then try to keep a hold of you with that wicked jaw, so I'm going to make a grapple check against you. 7 of the dice will actually fail. You're able to pull away. You've had enough of creatures grabbing, constricting whatever they can to you. You pull off. Yuga, your turn.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do a spiritual armament.
Okay.
And basically be flinging the ghostly apparition or whatever of my silver dagger.
Mm-hmm.
At this one that's more hurt.
So you fling it off. It just barely sort of skids to the side. You're also sickened, so you're having trouble concentrate on a clean shot.
Let's see. What do I want to do? I want to guidance Shugo.
Alrighty. Quick guidance to Shugo.
Here we go.
That'll be you then. Speaking of, Shugo.
I'm gonna use that guidance immediately as I try to retch.
Okay. Try to retch 22. The DC for that shriek is 25. It's not getting out of your system. Not easily.
In that case, we're just gonna kill this thing.
Okay.
Shugo tries to bite it. Okay.
Reach out trying to bite. It's able to dodge.
It's worth a try.
I'll try one more attack.
Quick swipe. 15 on the dice exactly hits, even though you're sickened. Got a pretty decent swipe there too, for a total of 16. Thing cleaves into just as well as it is bitten into, but it's still standing.
That's all 3 actions.
Bows in.
Oh boy. I'm gonna use my first action to retch.
Okay. Fortitude save.
Well, that was worth a
Just
try.
not going to be enough there.
For my other 2 actions, I'm gonna see if I can finish off this one that's near death. We don't really know any of their defenses other than armor class.
Not so.
Look at that thing. I'm gonna try Void Warp. He needs to make a Fortitude save.
Alright. Fortitude for these creatures doesn't seem to be their best, but not their worst. They are able to push through this infusion of void energy, only taking half, and still standing for it.
That's my turn.
Alright, lay it on.
Once again, let's see.
$13.
Yeah, I'm keeping that as an attack. Let's see, can I find out anything?
This time you certainly can. You recognize these finally as Mandragora, a most hated foe in Pathfinder Kingmaker, but that is a different reality from this. What do you want to know specifically about them?
I think I know what their weakness might be, so any special thing they might be able to do.
The only thing you don't know is that if they're able to attack you with one of their thorny vines, they can inject a poison into you,
Well, that's nasty.
which causes confusion. Don't want that.
Alright, and now I'm going to do what any scientist does after studying something, and that is to pin it up.
Okay.
I jam
shot.
another crossbow bolt into it.
See what the damage is. As you take another clean shot towards it, it falters from that one into the ground, dead.
Excellent. And my final action is going to be a map shot that I just hip fire.
You would have to reload.
That is a really good point. Which is the first thing I did this turn, obviously.
So you would have reloaded and then fired at this one, I believe.
Reloaded and did fight, yes. So that's all 3 of my actions.
Alright. So, going to this remaining one. It's gonna start with draws. Bites it, bows in. 13 on the dice. Does hit.
I can't keep doing this, man.
Total of 13 damage to you, bows in. As the bite comes in, it instead of trying to hold on to you, whips around a thorny vine. Quite quickly, to your side.
I'm gonna
Hits
die.
as well.
You're
Yes.
not gonna die.
Deals 8 damage to you. I need a fortitude save.
I'm gonna die.
21 is exactly the DC of this venom.
I might not die.
Goes for
You're
map
not
8.
gonna die.
It still hits
I'm gonna die.
on map 8. Because it's agile is the only reason it hits. 10 damage to you. You're not dead yet.
Oh.
I need a fortitude save once more.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Unfortunately, you
Do I even bother re-rolling that?
It's up to you.
When do I take the venom damage from the venom? if
Immediately.
it heals damage. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
I'm happy with my choices.
You are able to survive as you steal yourself. You just got that magical fortitude, in fact, which helps. So, that being said, it's just torn into Balzin, but not brought them down. Yuga.
Cool. So I'm going to do two things, and both of them are awesome. The first one is that I'm going to heal Bowsin from a distance.
Okay.
Enjoy.
38 healing is plenty for him.
Oh,
And the second thing is that I have caught my ghostly silver dagger and fling it at the creepy monster once more.
Okay.
This is hard. Hold on. Piercing, unless spirit would have been better.
You're not sure it makes a difference. Natural 20. See that crit damage.
Cool. It wasn't ones.
Total of 22 as this spiritual dagger just pierces through it, much like the bolt from before. Alright.
Full turn.
So, Shugo, yours.
I need to get rid of this second.
Okay.
It's not happening.
Not happening, even though it should be your strong suit.
Should. And he's gonna circle around the remaining one and try to rip a chunk out of its bark with his teeth.
Alright. Rushing up underneath this yellow birch tree. Plenty of space underneath. 7 of the dice with a off guard is exactly enough. Due to the flank. Of 18 as you pierce both mind, or well, body and spirit.
It's all 3.
Bowsin, over to you.
alrighty. I'm gonna start with a void warp because that kind of worked. It worked well enough.
Alrighty. Quick void warp. It's not quick enough to stop you, but does defend itself quite well. It'll take half damage there. 5.
Then I am gonna scamper.
Alright, scamper on away. Past your allies.
Run away.
Lay it on.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stare intensely. Because I have evil thoughts.
You have some thoughts, certainly.
I'm gonna try for another check because I just want to confirm my suspicions.
You're not quite sure what else you can pick up from it.
Fair enough. I'm gonna shoot my crossbow at it in that case.
Already. Because you're sickened, it wouldn't be a crit. Otherwise, though, definitely a hit.
Dang. Oh well.
Clean shot. Clean amount of damage, 16 there. It's dead, actually, from that shot. As you pierce its side, it just is sent reeling to the ground. Its other injuries catch up to it. It is dead. That is the end of the Mandragoras.
That wasn't so bad.
I was kind of hoping that not everything would try to kill us along this road.
There have been several things that actually have not tried to kill us. I can point to multiple
There's been at
trees that
least
we've come
one thing.
across.
As the Mandragora lay there, sort of in this strange sort of death row, they're no threat to you, but they start to rot away, and the first thing to rot is their chest cavity, revealing the strange clot of crystallized blood at their core. And you think you hear, whispered out on that high-pitched, shrill voice that pierced your ears before, Gopti once more.
Ugh.
These are fear gem talismans, essentially.
It's working.
Oh,
And I believe you're allowed to use talismans on your
Yep.
weapon, on your claws, yeah.
Shugo takes those, and he actually attaches one of them. If we're gonna take a second here.
Yeah, attachment is like 5 seconds. Alright, so as the Mandragores are slain and Shugo quickly takes on those crystallized talismans, the rain still patters down on you all, and it seems to get worse and worse steadily throughout the day.
You
It
guys
depends.
want a quick patch up?
Yes, please. I assume we can get rid of the second, or does this stick around for a while?
No, you can get rid of it. You can, like, go behind a tree and, like, try to equalize your body, get your ears sort of equalized.
It's a lot easier to do when we're not, like, dying.
Yeah. And that talisman actually works for me because I have intimidating strike.
Oh, yeah. Very useful.
Let's get one heal for Bowsen.
It's kind of forever useful, so it's very easy to buy these when you're at later levels and just use them constantly.
Thank you.
Glad I could help. Should you go?
Hello, Yuga.
This should be easy. Heck.
Thank you.
There's 20 minutes there from those, so if you want to get fully healed, we're going to rest around for another 40, then another 10, and then another 10. So, we're probably good.
I'm feeling well enough to continue.
I can
Okay.
always also top him off if need be.
I'm in top space. Also, I am refocusing. Did I even use a focus point? No, I didn't even use a focus point.
I think you did use a focus point.
But you can just refresh them.
Yeah.
You can always refresh them
Refresh.
after combat.
Yeah,
basically.
besides, we just took 20, so.
Alright, so these guys take 20 minutes there, refreshing yourselves. The rain pattering down, you took some cover under a tree. The path beckons you further. And you're sort of finally getting away from the river's edge here at this point, so you're entering back into the forest.
That's good. I don't really like being so close to the water. Not out here, at least.
Well, you did a good thing purifying that river, at least.
Yeah. I just hope I can do it again in the future if the situation calls for it. I kind of choked up there a bit. I was thinking about the way we failed that poor Kappa. Never again. Well, I'm feeling cheerful. Let's go.
Alright.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So, you guys continue down the path to the north, heading through the trees once more, and they give you a little bit of cover from the rain, but the rain continues to darken the sky, especially as it becomes about a few hours before sunset. It's dark, it's hard to see, and the rain is now in a full-on downpour. It brings most of you a little bit more discomfort than you're, well, used to. And in fact, it causes it to be hard to see 60 feet ahead of you. So anything further away is concealed. But you ignore the rain for the time as you start to hear something down the path. Amongst the rain, you hear sobbing, actually, of what sounds to be a woman hiding out amongst the trees, sort of at the path's edge here.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely surprised. This is just Tuesday for us at this point. Of course, there's somebody sobbing. Oh wait, it is Tuesday.
Yeah. Actually, do I have like a thunderstorm? Yes, I do. There we go. It's thundery.
As we gave the DM a thunderstorm.
Dark. Hear it in the background every so often. A flash of lightning sometimes illuminates the darkening forest. This woman, amongst it all, is there crying. I don't know what they did to the tokens. Why are they weird like that? Anyway, she sits there.
I whisper to the others, if she tries to eat me, back me up.
Don't worry, Yuga. We will have your back.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hey, sister. Sister, is that... No. It's not her. I don't know where she is. Where she went.
Hush. We're here. We're here to help. If there's anything that we can do for you.
I don't know who you are. Or what you are. Be some... monster.
My name is Yuga. I am a priest. And these are my traveling companions and friends.
You guys get a closer look. You see a bedraggled woman clutching to prayer beads at her chest. She looks worse for wear and may be out here for a little while. It's horrible. Roll a diplomacy check.
Gladly. $19.
You managed to calm her down a little bit here.
Take what I can get.
You seem to be kind folks. I knew we should never have come out here. My sister, Eunice, she convinced me to take a trip along the Pilgrim's path towards the abandoned monastery. Just to see, just to have a trip, just for us. Then, somewhere along the path, I don't know where we are, but I was chased by... well... no, that was just a dream. A nightmare.
If it was a nightmare, then it's gone now.
But I don't know where my sister is. Where she could be. Maybe she's at the monastery.
So she was going to meet you there?
Well, that's where we were headed. Until we got separated out here.
How long ago were you two separated?
I don't know, it's... maybe a day or two. But I'm too scared to go ahead. I'm haunted in the night. Nightmares. This flying head. Go further. It just gets worse and worse as I step forth. Wait for her here.
This is no safe place to wait for somebody.
You think you could protect me? Both during the day and in the throes of night.
I look back at the others.
The other gives a quick nod.
Shugo doesn't look very confident.
Roll me a
I
perception check, Shuyo.
Sure.
As you're a little suspicious, you look at her and you notice that she keeps her high-collared jacket wrapped tightly around herself. But every so often, as she's talking, you are able to catch a glimpse of a faint scar that seems to curl all the way around her neck.
Cool.
And Yuga, since you have Willow Shore lore, I'd like you to roll that.
I sure will. Oh, hey, 23.
As you're talking to her, you feel like you start to recognize her. This must be the same person that went missing 10 years ago. From Willowshore. Yuri. Or, Yeri, rather.
I'm not going to tell her that.
Well, if you lead the way, I'll follow you. Maybe we'll find somewhere safe. Out from this terrible downpour.
Absolutely, we will protect you with our lives, if need be.
Would Shugo know any significance to the scar around her neck?
Not that you can guess at, really. Alright. Are you guys?
What was your sister's name again?
It's Uni. I'm Yeri. We're almost like twins.
Do we know Uni?
No, but you imagine that also tracks as the other person that went missing 10 years
Oof.
ago. So, are we going to go?
Of course. Stay close, and if anything comes at us, we're going to have to fight it, and we're going to need you to hide if that happens.
I will.
Shugo's just gonna keep an eye on her for now.
Okay.
I shall lead the way.
So, as you guys head along the path here, she follows, scared but able to keep pace with you all. And just about as the sun is setting, even though it's hard to see it, the forest path reaches a break here, next to an ash-strewn clearing astride the path. There's a partially burned wooden cottage that sits near the path, while a 5-foot wide rock walkway winds around the ruins to a ruined garden beyond. Here, the scorched remnants of a burned oak tree loom tall, while at the far end of the charred clearing sits a small stone shrine. The rock pathway leads up to it, with this last stretch flanked by 3 pairs of unlit stone lanterns. You recognize this as the second shrine along the path. especially you, Shugo, knowing Sengochi, knowing about all of this. Leota. And Yuri. Their weird big token that they didn't have properly.
Looks like she has like 2 borders for some reason.
I have no idea why they did that, but that's fine.
I wish I had 15 borders. Imagine how much protection that would give.
The day grows dark. It's difficult to see through the rains here. A burned cottage looms right there.
Maybe we can take shelter here from the storm.
I agree.
Certainly beats walking around out here.
So it's getting kind of dark.
Very dark. Not enough to, well, actually, yeah, light helps a lot, actually, in this situation.
If anybody else wants one, there's an option.
Now I can turn it down so that everything isn't grayscale. There we go.
Yay!
Got enough lights for everybody.
Mhm.
Why the viewers?
Yep.
But, Shugo, you know... Yeah, no doubling it up, because it's an additive
Yeah.
effect.
I really wish it wasn't.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But, you, again, because you're a follower of Sengochi, you know this leg of the journey is where Master Zishui was delighted to find a grove of wildflowers, berries, and wild radishes growing in an idyllic clearing. The floral beauty and the delicious taste of the fruits and root vegetables made an excellent spot for a shrine, where pilgrims could enjoy a simple meal and contemplate the values of enjoyable repasts at the end of a long day of travel, while also ensuring that they do not overindulge in food or drink.
There should be some food here we can pick and gather, but we need to be careful. Take only in moderation.
Just enough to fill us up. That sounds like a good plan.
Reasonable. Just eat. Moderate
don't-
fill and be on our way.
It's a shame this place seems to be burned, though. There was no mention of a hut. Jugo's gonna approach the shrine in particular.
Okay.
Is that, like, behind the hut?
As you approach, you note that the ash-strewn mud around this place is difficult terrain. The stones, though, the stone path allows you to walk through pretty easily.
As we're passing the hut, Jugo's gonna try to look through any windows as they go.
It's very hard to see through. There's a lot of slats and things in the way. Roll me a perception check.
I guess he'd go to the front window here.
You see bits and pieces of a burned interior, but you also note a strange, like, flash or spark every so often, as if a sputtering flame is still within.
He's gonna step back from the window. I think there might be somebody else inside. There's light in there.
Perhaps I'll try to speak with him before I open the door. I approach the door and I'm going to knock first, and I say, "Hello, travelers here. Is there anybody inside?"
There is no response.
I shrug and I'll try opening the door.
The door creaks open, though as it does, you quickly realize the source of that sputtering flame. Not one, but 4 tormented souls that seem combusted in their own right. You guys have encountered these guys before. But not because of the sound, but because of the sightline, they do immediately shriek out towards you all, and in an inferno of rage, they rush towards you. I need your initiatives.
I swear to Pharasma, if they catch a shack on fire, I will be very cross with them.
Seems
it's
like they
raining.
already have.
I'm so upset about this.
Let's get some music.
Well then.
Have we fought these before? Oh, in the previous game, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
Not this many, though. Alright, so... just get this to a right. Well, there we go. You guys, though, were prepared, seemingly enough to... Oops. Did I be... Yes, okay. Yuga, you quickly react to the sudden flaming bodies that rush towards you. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a little bit mad about them. I'm going to try to see if I can kill one ASAP. I call upon the power of moonlight above us and grab my knife and aim a ray of light at the one in front of me.
Okay. Swirling above, this sliver of moonlight pierces through all of these clouds and slings straight for this creature. Roll your critical damage as it takes it in full force. And they
Cool.
are unholy for the purposes of the extra 5d6. So, in total, you deal 68 points of damage and instantly obliterate that unholy fiend.
I don't have the patience for this. Slay them all. I'm gonna guidance.
You gotta get back from the door. I have an idea.
I'm not gonna guidance.
Alright, you rush to the edge of the stones. Everywhere else is very muddy. Hugo, it's your turn.
Shugo's gonna step back from the door and ready in action to strike one when it comes into range with his jaws.
Okay. Coming screaming out from the doorway, seemingly unperturbed by the rain, at least for the moment, they rush out. But as soon as they get into the downpour, their flames begin to sputter and they are considered sickened too, for the purposes of it.
Comes into range, I'm gonna bite.
As it comes into range of you as well, its intense heat does still threaten to sear you. I need a reflex save, surprisingly.
Okay.
Thank you for being smarter than me, Shugo.
Sort of avoiding the sputtering flames as it sort of shoots out towards you. You take no damage from the intense heat, in fact.
Alright, ready for my attack?
Mm-hmm. That's a hit. Roll the damage. As you bite into the damn thing, you have vitalizing, and it is undead, so it starts to sort of, again, be afflicted by that vital energy. But, as it came out, it does one last thing. In a blazing howl, it will try to frighten you all. Actually, that wouldn't even... It's still going to do a blazing howl on you, Shugo. So roll a will save.
Oh no. Would Minako be affected by this?
Minako... yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Well, Minako's will. Natural 1. Okay.
I'm out of hero points.
It is going to take double 4d6 damage. Total of 22 of fire. So it's 22, yeah. It's
Okay.
barely
She's
alive.
alive.
And she's also frightened, in fact.
Oh.
Shugo,
It's fair, I would be too.
Shugo, you take 5 damage from that. Did you already take that? The half
no.
damage? There we go. Alright, that is that one's turn. Now, the next one comes roaring out from the barn here. Going to about here amongst you two, and it will also unleash a blazing howl as its third action. I need from everybody now. They will save.
Make sure to take that persistent damage, by the way.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
And would this one be a second two as well?
Yes, it
Oh my
would.
goodness, I just got 2 crit successes.
These guys, I mean, there's a lot of them, but, you've dealt with the undead before. Yeah. Only Shugo would take any damage at all, I believe.
Second.
Yes. So, Shugo, you take the half. Also, I need a reflex save from Minako, Baozin, and Yuga for the intense heat aura of this creature.
Sure.
A what save?
A reflex, as these sputtering flames are shooting out towards you. You do succeed, actually, Baozin. You take half damage. And Minako, I think, takes no damage because of that critical success. So, Yuga,
my
you take
goodness.
full 7 damage. Baozin, you take half. Alright, that one's turn is at an end.
Well, okay. What can I do? Okay. I'm going to start with casting Patron's Puppet. I am going to give Shugo a bonus to his attacks. I'm going to have Minako then
Bonus to
you
your...
can give me you can give me AC. You can't give me plus attack.
Yeah, that's the AC
Oh.
ability.
plus AC. Sorry, I completely misread that. And they are not attacking AC. I am going to lower this guy's AC then.
Okay. This guy being the one in front of you?
No, the one in front of Shugo.
Oh, okay.
I'm then going to use Scamper to move this way, and that leaves me with 2 actions to cast a spell of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
They're both in range. And I really should have upped Fear, because that... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I can do that now. You know what's worse than a spooky, scary, flaming skeleton?
What's
A
that?
spooky, scary, laughing skeleton.
Okay.
No, I
I
feel like
really
the
hope
King on
this
Fire
works.
is worth.
I really hope this works. They better not be mindless.
Most undead do have a mind. It critically fails. It falls prone and can't do anything at all. I'm assuming the one in front of Shugo, right?
No, the one next to Yuga. Just the
okay,
one I was targeting. I thought it... Oh, I was holding insert, so I didn't apply the marker.
Either way, it
Okay.
is completely out of commission.
Amazing. Look at that skeleton laugh. That's my turn.
It's this crazed, pained, crackling skeletal laughter. Leodon, it's quite a strange sight in front of you. What do you do?
I guess that fella still has his funny bone, unlike the others. Leodon is going to devise a stratagem first.
Okay.
At the one in front of Shugo, in fact.
Alright. 13.
I'm keeping that as an attack. What do I need for recall knowledge?
These guys are undead, so religion.
Fair enough.
$19 does get you information on these. These are combusted, whose lives end in flames, can return as undead called combusted. What do you want to know about them?
Give me the lowest save, given we've already seen a lot of information.
Their lowest save is their will by far.
Oh, this is
Oh.
gonna be fun.
Enjoy yourself.
I'll enjoy myself while I can.
Well, with that out of the way, I'm gonna raise my crossbow and I'm going to somehow aim this bolt around Shugo.
Okay.
Oh.
You crit, actually.
I did not see that coming.
Or crit damage. Sickened so much by the rain, it can't really defend itself all that good. 26 points of damage. Doesn't bring it down, though.
If only I wasn't one-handing it. Oh well. That's 2 actions, I believe. So I'm now going to use my final action to bravely run away
Okay.
and get some distance.
So you rush through the downpour. We go to this one in the back here. Also screams out from inside. And goes to get around... not yet. It does get to Yuga, though, and it will throw out a flaming fist. Which will hit. As it slams into you as well, the flames sort of catch light on your coat, even though through the downpour it's just too hot for it to sizzle out immediately. Alright. Yuga, your turn. And when you do make the persistent check, it'll be DC 10 instead of DC 15 because there's some help, as in the rain.
That's at the
End of your turn.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast heal.
Heal. Alright. 3 action.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make some fortitude saves. 3, 14, 17. A failure, success, and success. So, the one on the left did succeed, will take half damage. Really good roll in the 3d10. The one that is on the left here as well takes half damage, 12. The one here takes full damage, 24, and you all heal for 24, except for Baozin, who is just outside of it.
At least the familiar heals.
It's okay.
That's right.
Familiar does heal for 24. This
Full health. Thank you
Brilliant.
for healing my familiar.
burst of vitalizing energy
It
just
just worked out perfectly.
erupts from Yuga, casting
I'm
away
sure
the
that'll earn you
undead.
favor with my patron.
That'll be all your actions. The end of your
I don't
turn.
get to do that often enough.
Mm-hmm. You do take 4 points of fire and roll a recovery check. DC is 10 instead of 15. 8 won't cut it.
Oof.
Shugo, your turn.
Shugo's gonna try to finish this one off next one.
Okay. 4 on the dice. Still does hit. And it is enough as you bite into the flaming creature to destroy it quite easily.
He's gonna step over to the next one and see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
These things have low AC and he's on the ground, so get bit.
Bit with a 4
Oh.
won't happen.
Oh well. That's all
Alright.
3 actions.
Over to this one. It doesn't do anything because it's in its complete laughing fit. That's all I can do. It's going to be slowed until... Bit of it. Alright, bows in.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what I can do. No, I'm not gonna do Phantom Pain because they're already sickened. I am gonna stride a bit closer
Mm-hmm.
and let's be cheap. I'm gonna target this one in the back. You know what? Why not just do damage? Let's try Daze.
Okay. On the one closest?
On the one above Yuga.
Okay. Rolls a natural 1.
Oh my goodness. Freaking stunned.
It is stunned
I like that.
1. as you put
That's
this
what I wanted, baby.
jolt into its mind. It's damaged heavily by it, and yeah, stunned one for the next round.
Don't forget the sickened on it, by the way.
Oh yeah, this one needs a second.
Oh yeah, I felt even worse then.
Mm-hmm. So, that'll be you, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, Don.
Well, I'm gonna start out by loading another bolt into my crossbow, devising a stratagem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping that, still. And immediately unleashing a crossbow bolt into the healthier of the two combusted. And this time I'm using the right damage on it by using my strategic repose.
Okay. Strategic repose. Send some vitalizing energy through that strategic strike through it. Doesn't seem to improve anything about it, but it's still vitalizing damage to it.
Oh, well, it's about sending a message in that case.
Mm-hmm. Alright, anything else?
That's all 3 of my actions.
Alright, going over to this one. It is stunned, it is going to step, and it is going to strike, simply enough. Quick strike towards Yuga, though,
Okay.
but the rain in that stunning action was really distracting to it. It barely gets a, well, attack thrown out. Yuga, over to you.
I wonder if it's resistant / immune to fire, or if it's healed by fire.
It's a flaming creature. You doubt fire's going to do much to them.
On the other hand, like 5d6 spirit would do much to them.
Probably don't
Maybe.
need to throw out big spells right here anymore.
You don't think so?
No, the ones injured, they're just badly injured. That's my opinion, though. What you want to do?
Okay. Let's go for some divine lancing then. That's fine.
Sure. Burst of spiritual energy directed front and center at that creature.
Okay.
Is crit by it.
Is it going to be 1/1/1/1?
We'll see.
It was not.
4-4-4-2 is a lot better. In fact, that is enough to kill it as you cleanly slice through it with a powerful beam of Pharasma's, well, disapproval of the undead.
I like this. Who's coming up next? I don't think I can guidance you. But I can guidance Bowsin.
Thank you.
All
Does
right.
guidance help you at all? Oh yeah, you have your needles and stuff like. I don't know, what do you
Yeah,
need
it can, but with their will saves, I probably won't use it.
All right, we'll give it to Leodon then.
Yeah.
No, sure.
Quick guidance in slaying the undead. Shugo, your turn. Oh, and Yuga, you are taking a little bit of damage.
Cool, sounds good to me.
Well,
I love
mean,
taking damage.
We're gonna bite
That's
you.
evidenced by my roll.
That is a definite crit, in fact. It's still on the ground, still enraptured by the thralls of that laughing fit. You deal 36 points of damage, and a lot of other stuff if it wasn't already dying exactly from 36 points. It is dead, destroyed in the vitalizing bite. And that is that encounter. Quite well dealt with by your party.
I'm glad we checked the house first before we went back to the shrine. That could have been a nasty surprise.
Yeah, let's try to get that corpse or whatever it is out of there. I'd say.
Were those horrible creatures? I didn't know that
Oh, they're
these
just.
paths were so dangerous.
I'm sure it's a temporary thing. Once we deal with the problem, it'll probably be safe again. But for now, it's very dangerous for lots of undead. and other monsters.
Shugo's gonna pull the other flaming corpse out into the rain.
All
Just so it
right.
doesn't burn the place down.
Pulls out, and they sizzle in the rain until before long all that is left is burnt husks of bodies. Give yourselves 80 experience points for that encounter as well.
It is surprising that the path has become so dangerous. But with that wall of ghosts, who knows what can happen.
I wonder if they just died in a fire and never found peace after that.
Shugo's gonna go into the house and kind of search around. Maybe see if there's any evidence of maybe why the place burned down, or if there's anything here still.
Yeah, roll me a perception check. You look around, and it looks to be a caretaker's abode. There's much like gardening tools and beds for them.
Gardening tools.
Places to make meals. And, as you're looking around, though, it seems... Actually, roll me a crafting check for any further information.
I'm gonna ask one of the people that have crafting to do that.
Hmm.
Okay, I will roll that. Or
Might be better
aid
than
Leodon. Probably aid Leodon. I'm sure his crafting's expert now.
I am not. I'm just trained.
Alrighty, I'll just make roll then.
As in, judging by the way the fire is here, it seems like it was intentionally set. And the doors seem to have been barred from the outside.
Brutal. This was no accident. This was a deliberate act. A horde wanted that.
Wow.
People were locked in here and a fire was set. And they were left to burn. It explains the combusted ones.
You got a shovel in there.
You wish to bury them, Yuga?
Of course I do.
I will help.
You doubt trying to bury them in this downpour would be very fruitful.
Not now.
Not
Digging
now.
in the rain is... It's raining. You want to dig a hole in the rain? It's like this rain? It would be all...
Okay.
like a bad idea.
There's a lot of water dripping from the roof in here due to that fire. This place would probably need to be shored up if it's going to protect you against the rain wholly.
I'm going to go check on the shrine in the back.
Okay, if you encounter anything, don't try to be a hero about it. Just call to us, come get us, come to us.
Shugo's gonna follow the stone path around the side.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
let's see what we can do about making this place secure.
You follow this path in the back here, Shugo, and you find a great burned oak, seemingly also burned as part of all of this. You feel like you even recall flitting memories of this place being a beautiful garden shrine, but now it's all just burned away. However, the stone lanterns, 6 of them, seem to be intact. that flank the path here. It looks like they're meant to burn a cone-shaped incense.
I assume they're all empty at this point.
They're all empty, yes.
Wait, is this an opening in the wall right here?
Yes, you gotta walk through that, yeah.
Okay.
Must have been doors there at some point. There's also a stone building out here.
There's a shrine out here. Maybe it has more supplies to relight these lanterns. Maybe we can try to fix this place a little bit.
It's not a bad idea.
I'm going to go look, if you're okay with that.
Shall I come with?
Unless you're working on patching up holes.
I will help patch up. I'm more use here.
Could I make sure we
Can
have
help, but they're better than I am, I think.
Why would anybody damage this place like this? I wonder if it has to do with those demons and Gopke.
Very likely.
She goes gonna check the shrine.
The door creaks open. A shrine that has weathered this burning. There's much supplies inside here, actually. And, in fact, you find not only supplies that would help you repair the cottage, but also much incense prepared to be burned. Looks exactly like the
I like
kind of
that.
incense that fits into these 6 lanterns.
Yuga, let's get the others and get some of these supplies, and I can relight these incense, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Roll me a nature check, Shugo, as you look at the incense. You actually recall that lavender is said to stimulate the appetite when it is burned as an incense. I also want each of you to roll a perception check as you look around this little shrine here.
In the meantime, I absolutely do go get the others and say, hey, there's tools in the shrine over here.
That will make this much easier.
You also find a cunningly crafted silver and oak incense burner that sort of shields the incense from within, that is within it, from being extinguished by wind or rain. It's shaped like a dragon's head.
I think we're going to need that in the battle up ahead.
It's similar to you, Shugo, in fact, it looks like.
Interesting. You think we'll need it in the battle ahead, Yuga?
Absolutely. Because Yugaka
Yes.
hates the scent of burning incense. We could get an advantage over her if we light it during the battle, I think.
Then you should hold on to that, Yuga.
I will do so.
And Shugo's gonna take 6 of those incense candles,
Mm-hmm.
and you should take some of this incense as well, Yuga.
Gosh, why is the combat log not moving? Bugged again. There we go.
And Shugo's gonna go refill each of these lanterns with the
Alright.
incense, and he's going to, if the rain allows him to, light them.
These
And I'll help with
lanterns
repairs.
seem quite well protected against the rain, so you can light them. And a bit of calm descends, even in the rainstorm, over this place as the flickering lights of these 6 incenses, or well, incense doesn't really flicker, but as the calm vapors fill the air here.
For the sake of it, I'm just gonna remove the incense I have in my inventory.
Yeah, the 6 there. As the rest of you get back to the cabin.
It's already feeling a bit nicer around here.
Still some holes, though, in ceiling that need to be plugged.
Crafting
We'll try to
check.
find some scrap material and
You
I'll
found
work with
them in
him
the
on this.
shrine. You found building
Yeah,
materials up there. But yeah, anybody who wants to try and patch up the place, roll a crafting check. 23. It takes about an hour. Without Yuga's help.
I immediately break a hunk of wood.
How many kenkus does it take to change the oil in a lamp?
He hammers his thumb on accident or something.
No, yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly. I'm screaming and crying.
That's the most hurt you've been all day.
But you're able to patch up the holes so that it's not going to be a wet night for you all. You can be protected from the storms outside. And with the incense wafting through the shrine area here, feels like a good time to rest.
Sure, might as well. When Shugo was out back, I'm assuming he didn't see any of the veggies growing and whatnot out here, correct? I'm assuming
No, it
burned
seemed to have
away.
all been burned.
Unfortunate.
I don't know if I should be here. This doesn't feel right.
What
Look
do
at
you
me.
mean?
I lost my sister. And if there's these terrors here, I don't belong here.
Of
I
course you
shouldn't
belong
be
here.
here. You see, strangely, she drops those prayer beads from her hand and clutches her chest without them. Something... No, I do belong here. I'm one of them. As grotesque as it is, her head begins to pull from its neck at that scar spot, and like one of those creatures from Resident Evil, her head pops from its shoulders, and out flying from it is a terrible, well, decapitated form. This will work. This wants to work. This macro. Hello.
Oh no, she got bigger.
Hello, macro doesn't work. Ooh. Of course. The heck? Give me 1 second. Where's this module? Breaks it. Fucking one. Yes. It is this, then this, then this. Then let me look. Actually, we'll take a 5-minute break here as she is bursting out. So, 5-minute break. We'll be right back in a second, guys. And we're back. Hey guys. So, with that little intermission, I was able to fix the token, and yes, this horrifying, basically head floating with all of its intestines and internal organs connected to it along its spine just immediately rushes out for all of you. I am going to need your initiatives.
I don't know if I want to bite that.
Yeah.
That's fair. I also don't want to bite.
So, with everyone's initiatives out, Yuga and Shugo, you were prepared, seemingly, for this, as she was, like, thrashing about. You, well, get yourselves ready. Yuga, what are you doing?
I'm gonna cast Holy Light. A blazing ray of light tinged with holy energy.
Okay.
I fire it out toward what I was hoping would be... Oh, hero point.
Okay.
I was hoping would be somebody we could save.
17 is a hit. Roll the damage. Unfortunately, though, you realize this is not an unholy creature, it is an aberrant creature. Makes it a little bit different. So, still, though,
Not
fire
unholy.
damage
Okay.
still burns into its body.
Way I figured it, we probably wouldn't get another chance to use that spell tonight. So, hey.
Mm-hmm.
And let me think. Oh, I shall stride.
Alright, go ahead and stride.
Felt good to you?
Mm-hmm. And over to the other side of it. Sort of flutters there, supernaturally floating above. The body sort of left behind like a molted skin. Shugo.
Shugo's going to take advantage of the opening that Yuga has made here. And he's going to use Intimidating Strike using his talisman.
Alright.
Feet and shot really quick, just so it's there.
Intimidating strike with the talisman. Alright. A quick bite with your jaws, piercing into the organs that it floats with it. And a pretty good roll, too. So, 19 damage, and it is frightened 2, I believe, with the talisman, right?
Yes, let me put it on chat.
As that crystallized blood shatters and these little red butterflies sort of flutter out from it. It definitely frightens the creature.
And that's all 3 of my actions then.
Okay. Guts. Have all of your guts. As it says that, it is going to... Its entrails are going to strike out towards Yuga, flapping and attempting to wrap around them. 13 points of damage to Yuga, and it is also going to try to wrap you with those entrails, trying to grapple. And why does it not have an athletics? What the fuck, Paizo?
You rolled as Yuga.
Ooh.
Did I? Nope, it's... Still doesn't have... Here, hold on. Let me check on their actual site. Sometimes they don't import these correctly. Let's see.
I mean, if you want to just keep the 10, I wouldn't mind.
This must be a pre-remastered creature because it doesn't have an athletics check, even though it does have a grab. I am going to take its lowest skill modifier and add it to this, so it'd be a 12, so a total of 22. 22, I believe, just barely does grab you. Is this usually what you do?
Okay.
Sorry. I have to give it some... It has to be able to use one of its primary abilities. And then it is going to, as it has you wrapped in its entrails, its long tongue is going to slap down at you. Final action. It is going to hit, but not critically because it's frightened.
Cool.
However, as the tongue sort of, actually not slap, but like spikes into you, it releases a bile onto you. I need a fortitude save.
This is disgusting.
Yep. It is a horror show.
Eh.
28 though, you sort of wipe it off really quickly, get it off you. It's sort of this black bile that you feel would definitely atrophy in some way. But that is all it can do on its turn. Leodon.
Can I claim Death's Call because I died a little on the inside? I'm just kidding.
Alrighty. Business as usual.
Just flapping
Alright.
around weirdly.
Yeah, I'm turning that into a skill stratagem for now.
Hmm.
I'm also taking a recall knowledge as part of this.
Occultism for this aberrant creature. You recognize this in the legendary lore as a Penangalang that feeds on blood and entrails, particularly of the young. They are said to have been creatures blessed with eternal youth and health, but are forced at night to shed their bodies and feed upon, well, the guts and entrails of the young. You know, classic, East Asian horror stories.
Give me their lowest save.
Lowest save is going to be their fortitude, in fact. It's quite a narrow form.
Noted.
Not many guts to go around in this one, huh?
Ah.
That was one action. I'm kind of screwed myself, I realize, in hindsight, but oh well. I'm going to reposition to right here. Obviously walking around, not
Yep.
through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and I can't really do anything else. That's my turn.
Okay, sure. Bows in.
Oh boy. Okay, so first turn, I'm gonna curse it with Needle of Vengeance. So
Okay.
anytime it attacks Yuga, it has to make a will save or take 6 mental damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put the effect Familiar of Balanced Luck on it to reduce its armor class.
Okay.
Then I am gonna... Should I do damage or try to debuff it further? You know what? We need to see what its will save is going to be anyways.
Sure.
So... I'm going to cast Phantom Pain.
Alright, it'll roll its will save. Almost on a 2, went to the 12. It does succeed, but it'll take the full initial damage, so roll it out for me. Should
Well,
be
now I know it
6.
has half-decent will, so... Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That is my turn.
Alright. Back over to Yuga. Entrails still wrap you there.
Yep. I'm gonna guidance myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna try to break free.
Okay.
Remember the rules in that, please?
Acrobatics, athletics, or unarmed attack modifier, whichever is higher. That is, I think, the most commonly used phrase I ever have to say in all my fucking games.
I know, right? Looks like unarmed and acrobatics are tied. I'll just hit the acro.
Well,
I like that.
natural 20, a critical, means that you can also move 5 feet as you sort of push yourself off. Stumble back.
But if I do that, I deprive Shugo of a bonus.
I have options for that.
Unfortunately, she goes next.
Battle medicine.
Okay.
Stepping 5 feet wouldn't really protect you anyways.
$17. Very good roll on that. Critical
Yeah.
success. 26 healing as you sort of patch yourself up, apply, unguents to the burns of the bile, all of that. All right. Anything else?
I like that.
All right, I
my
think
turn?
that's it. Yes. Shugo.
Alright, well, I was about to reposition her to free him, but I guess we're fine.
Yeah.
Guess we're just gonna continue with the biting and the clawing and the sort of things.
Or is
not?
just not going to bite it. But you have claws.
Which one you're gonna try next?
17. Your claws swipe through, easily cutting into, in fact, its stomach and entrails. As it does, it actually cuts even further. It weakens, or it's weak to that slashing.
Noted.
However, as the stomach bursts, bile is thrown out to anybody adjacent to it. I need a fortitude save for Shugo, Leodon, and Yuga.
Mistakes were made.
Gross.
Okay.
Shugo fails. Leodon fails. Yuga fails. You all take 13 points of poison damage as the bile splashes onto all of you. Actually, are you affected by the... Let's see. This is their wounds, spews bile on creatures. No, that has
Oh,
to be...
good news, everybody. She can't do this again until the end of her next turn.
And technically, because the wording doesn't say it, it doesn't actually trigger the disease. So, no need to roll fortitude saves.
Thank goodness.
Anything else, Shugo?
Third attack, I guess. Hail Mary.
One more slash, doesn't cut it. As
All
it's
3 actions.
writhing about here, it is going to turn towards Shugo and try to wrap with his entrails, or her entrails. That will hit. Not a critical, though. The entrails wrap around you. You take 14 points of damage. It is then going to immediately use its tongue to try to inject this bile into you using its proboscis. That'll be a hit. You also take 11 points of piercing damage. I need a fortitude save. Which you do fail. You become drained 1. So the bile causes some atrophying of your system. So last action is going to be trying to get away here. And it does have a fly speed, so it goes to the other end of the room. Over here.
I consent to that.
Here. Looks down at Baozin as another target. You have to do. Is your closest thing to what looks like a young person here.
Wow. Wow. Rude.
Leodon, your turn.
Alrighty. Oh, yeah, I'm keeping that.
19. Okay.
Leodon goes down the weakness and accordingly changes the grip on his crossbow.
Mhm.
And now he's going to immediately shoot.
All right. Take a shot, and because the familiar has weakened it just barely as balance your lock up, that is a critical
I like
strike.
that.
Beautiful.
I love this I love my patron. Oh,
As
You
the
dice
shot
vomit.
is slung through, you probably don't want vitality damage on this creature. You already figured out earlier that it is not.
Yep, excuse me.
So roll another 2d6. We'll determine. Well, actually, no. I'll just take the 6 and 2. Yeah, that's fine. 8 and 16. Yeah, I'll add 16 if this doesn't kill it. Yeah, actually, the 16 that the strategic strike is, if you did it correctly, was exactly the amount of damage it needs to kill. Another 16. It is dead as you shoot it straight through the skull and send it clattering to the floor, entrails and all. That is its turn. We see the true power of the investigator.
I don't like the pattern I'm seeing. I really don't.
I get the feeling there's going to be a lot more abominations like this on our way.
Yuga just kind of slumps down onto the floor against the wall and just kind of puts his head in his hands for a bit.
Yuga, you said this person was the person that was missing 10 years ago, right?
That's right. At least the stories match up. I was just a teenager at the time, so I didn't really pay it that much mind. I didn't know her personally.
So the monastery has been abandoned for like a 100
Couple
years
of
or something,
decades.
right?
Couple of decades.
Couple of decades. Okay.
Like 40 or 50 years.
This timeline doesn't make any sense.
I'm starting to think that's the point. I don't think time matters. Not for these yokai, these monsters, these beasts.
The bridge wasn't in this condition in our time, right?
It was washed
It's about
out.
memory. Or would I be able to figure out anything based on what we've seen so far?
You can make a guess using occultism.
Okay. Okay, my guess is gonna be really bad.
Guess is as good as any. You can't say for certain. You don't have any theories. Unless you can come up with them in your own person mind.
If she went missing 10 years ago, then we're probably either not in our own time, we might be some 10 years, 9 years or so in the past, or we could be in an alternate pocket dimension that mirrors the real one and has reflections of things that did exist or something.
It doesn't make any sense. What was the main monk's name again? I'm sorry. Really
That
bad
would
at
be
names.
Jihui.
And Jihui died a long time ago, correct?
Yes. Basically when the monastery was abandoned a few years after they died because they were only holding it together.
Gotcha. So, we saw pieces of Jihui's story, being reincarnated as the tree, right? Which happened a long time before.
that you're thinking of Tan Sugi Jing. Tan Sugi Jing is the one that you saw on the rock there. They're the one that was the legendary hero.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Zihui was just the Sangpochi puppet.
Yes, okay. Understood. Either way, stuff is weird. We need to just keep going to the monastery, I think.
Absolutely.
That seems best.
She goes in and get rid of the body.
Okay.
Take it outside. Just so we have a place we can sleep that doesn't have a corpse in it.
Mm-hmm. So, as you guys rest for the night, God, why is the chat all of a sudden? I had it working for months and months, and now it just decides to stop it again and again for people watching. Really irritating. But whatever, I'll fix it at some point. That being said, you guys, well, feel safe enough here now that all the threats have passed. It's a good a place as any to rest. You feel like if you tried to rest out in the rain, you wouldn't get a good night's sleep. But you've prepared it. And the incense is burning outside, so feels fine enough. So you guys rest for the night.
Yeah, ready for it. Though, of
Over the
course,
night.
Hatch people up in preparation.
Mm-hmm. And over this night, after having those conversations, you rest, and the rain eventually abates by dawn. Allow me to change the map. Oh right, they have something weird going on with this. How do I change this? There we go. Switched off, apparently not, because their shit doesn't work. Oh, here we go. Reload? That's weird. Anyway, the morning is nice enough, in fact. Met by the sounds of birds chirping, calmness outside, and in fact, as you wake up, whoever's the first to wake up notices that out towards the back here where the garden was, there's a fresh layer of green grass that has sprung from the ashes. Likewise, you also see that a half-dozen bright blue orchids have bloomed amongst the the roots of the burned oak tree.
Oh my.
Maybe this place has a chance to recover.
I think it does. Little
Yes.
reason to think otherwise.
Sugar, as you step out, you have an urge to pick the orchids. They seem to be a gift for you.
Maybe we should take them with us.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan to me.
I'll let you take those, Yuga.
I agree.
Also, after being awakened here and having your fill in the morning, you feel invigorated and well rested, taking in the light pleasures of life. You gain the garden shrine's enlightenment, which is +1 to all your will saves.
Oh, that's nice.
Also, give yourselves 60 experience points for the fight with Yeri, and 40 experience points for achieving enlightenment at the garden shrine. She should be at 420.
Yep, that's what I have.
At the very least, after each shrine, even though we have to fight, we have to cleanse it. It's very peaceful afterwards.
420. Was there a 40 experience bonus somewhere that I didn't catch?
I think so. And maybe the first shrine.
He just gave us 100 total just now.
Yeah.
Either way, 420 is where you should be. Though, in this morning, quickly a morning fog billows in, pretty thick. So, that being said, you guys feel rested enough to head out during this day?
Yeah.
Joe heads back out front and prepares to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
Shugo would know
Hmm?
maybe how many shrines there are total on the way up to the monastery.
There should be one more shrine. The mountain shrine.
Okay, I fixed my notes. Thank you very much.
Ah, good. And realizing that this is the final leg of the journey, you know that the path will grow steeper. You start heading along it for maybe a couple of hours. As you're winding through the mountain path here, the fog continues to grow thicker. On the mountain path, I would like you guys to roll a perception check.
Okay.
As you are sort of peering through the fog.
I'm not even peering. I'm blind.
Been taking my wait the whole session, so may as well. Dang.
Okay.
24
Oh.
if scavenger search would apply.
Not here. You, Shugo. You, out ahead, through the fog, you catch what appears to be a dimly lit lantern. But as soon as you catch sight of it, the light is extinguished. And the fog, well, swallows up any sign of anything out there.
We should be careful. Be on our guard. I think there's something out there.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, actually, I would be because I can hardly see. But if the pattern follows,
Okay. So you guys move ahead a little bit. Being careful. But as you get close, and are winding along this path with cliffs on both sides, up and down, there is a scream. Ah! Help! I fell! I think I broke my leg! And once again, you see a light coming from down in the gorge below, but you can't really make it out through
Oh no.
the thick fog.
Is it possible to tell how far down it is?
Maybe 30, 40 feet.
Did you go smell anything weird?
The only weird thing is that you don't smell a person.
As much as I am the type to, want to help people, I feel like at this point, I think this seems more likely than not to be another trap.
But what if it isn't this time?
I don't smell anything down there, Yuga.
We've handled the previous ones fine. The shrines. Um, so, even if it is a trap,
Is anyone
should
up
we
there?
take the risk?
Please, I can't move.
Can we do tie a rope or something?
Yes, I should have rope. If I don't have rope, I'm gonna be sad. I have rope.
Shugo and
Look at that.
Leodon, roll me a perception check, being the most suspicious.
Who? Sorry.
Leodon and Shugo.
Okay. Didn't we get a magical rope, by the way? Or am I thinking of a different game?
I don't quite recall. Shugo, this seems too convenient. It would expose one of you if one of you goes down there alone. Can't be right.
We should keep moving on. This is another trap of some sort. As much as I would want to help somebody in need, this just feels completely wrong.
I hate to say it, but I think you're right.
Trigo steps away from the edge.
But what if it's not?
Yuga, everything is telling me this is bad for us.
The woman has gone silent. There's a sizzle in the air next to Shugo. I need your initiatives.
Oh, thank goodness, rating attacked. That saves us the trouble of worrying about this.
Oh look, it's climbing up all by itself. Wait.
Leodon, you get a bad feeling. Something's here, but you can't see it.
Hey, I'm just being an optimist. I'm looking at the bright side of this.
Give me a second as I'm reloading because the rolled bugged out once again.
Oh shit, okay.
Would I be able to detect it with scent?
No. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Like I mentioned earlier, there is no scent marker, which is the strange part. But as we're waiting for Leodon to get back in.
There we go.
Okay. Something is definitely not right, Leodon. You have 3 actions.
I'm seeing nothing yet, correct?
Correct. You're in initiative against an enemy that you don't know anything about, but something's not right.
Well, to have time to prepare, I am going to use it well. I'm going to use a quick tincture to make myself a cognitive mutagen,
Okay.
which I proceed to down immediately.
Let's maybe get away from the cliff edge.
So, this fancy effect. And I'm going to ready an action to recall knowledge, if that's possible.
You don't know what you're dealing with. You have
Fair
no
enough.
reference point to recall knowledge on it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Actually, probably in occultism. Meh. Yeah, you have enough pieces of information that could piece together. It's just going to be very difficult. Not with that roll. You're not sure what this
Fair enough.
is. So.
I think that's all 3 of my actions.
Mm-hmm. As you guys are sort of standing there for a moment, Shugo feels that sizzle in the air. A bolt of electricity shoots out from the north right here. And you are hit by it, especially because you're off guard, not knowing where this creature is. Let me see. There we go. But for a moment, you kind of recognize where that's coming from. Oops.
My eyeballs.
Yes. Might have been able to figure, but it's actually dark, so it wouldn't be doing that. Anyway, yes, it is one of these. You know what these are. It hits you with a shock.
I almost prepared revealing light today, and I didn't.
11 damage to you, Shugo. As the creature shocks you from that position, you hear a cackle as it, well, shocks you again. And it will hit again. That same sort of electricity shocks out from that position, though the creature that's causing it is completely unseen. It's just a spark of electricity from nowhere. And then you lose track of it. Okay.
Well, that's annoying.
Remember, you can always use a perception check to try to see a creature, or at least understand where it is by shimmering in the air, maybe movements in the fog, that sort of thing. You just have to guess a cone or a circle of, like, perception space that you're guessing in, and then you can roll the perception. Yuga, your turn.
I want to try to do that. So I saw it more or less come from north of Shugo, right?
Yep, right there.
So I guess somewhere around the north of Shugo is what I'm going to be focusing on.
Okay, roll your
how much I
perception.
can look at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's
23?
not up there anymore. You don't see any signs of it.
This is maddening. Do I have anything else that would help?
You could always seek more.
I could always seek more.
Mm-hmm. Guess a new
Alright.
space.
Maybe it's somewhere behind me.
Okay, going to the south. Roll your perception. So, because you rolled a natural 20, you scan pretty quickly all over. You are pretty sure it's not to the south, but you actually catch it. Catch a sort of flitting through the fog. It's actually right here.
Nice. Am I pointing that out to people with that action?
Third action is point out.
Well.
Specifically, pointing out its location, making sure everybody knows exactly where it is one action, yes.
Then I will spend that action to do that because I cannot cast a spell except guidance. It's over there. It's right there. I try to, explain it.
Mm-hmm. Is the point out action. Alright. So, Shugo, you have it pointed out to you. It's still invisible, so you'll be making a DC 11 flat check every time you strike it.
Is there any way to make it just concealed or anything, or is that not really in the?
You would have to
domains
recall
of my
knowledge.
abilities? Okay. That's not my job. Shugo's just gonna try to go for it.
Okay.
Wait.
18 would be a hit, but a natural 1 on that check is... Well, actually, you guys should have 1 extra hero point by this point, so you guys can take it.
You know what? Sure, I'll re-roll the flat check.
Okay. That is going to turn it into a success. As you bite towards it, you catch it in your jaws and deal 11 damage to it.
Low control, though. I can see you.
No, you can't. That was luck.
It's a will-o-wisp. I'm gonna try to grapple it.
Okay.
Done that first.
Map 5.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna assurance grapple it.
Okay. What's your proficiency modifier in total? Like, what would it be?
Here is the roll. Okay.
Misses by 1, unfortunately. It just has a little bit of a higher fortitude save. Even though it seems not that fortitudinous, or whatever the fuck.
It was a gamble, so
Yes.
that's my turn.
Alright. Bowsin. You're also aware of where it is.
Oh boy. So I'm aware where it is. If I were to target it with a spell that requires a save, would I still have to make that invisibility check?
Yep, because you are targeting it.
That makes sense. Okay. So it's talking, so it definitely has a mind.
Mm-hmm. Vast majority of creatures will have a mind.
My question is whether or not it's gonna be resistant to fire. Let's play it safe. Well, it's still invisible. I'm gonna cast. Actually, first I'm gonna target it with a Needle of Vengeance.
Alright, roll that invisibility check.
I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay. Better roll. Does get it through. It will be Needle of Vengeance.
And I'm gonna have it trigger whenever it attacks. Let's go with Shugo.
Okay.
Next, I am gonna cast Phantom Pain on it. Oh, actually, for the familiar bounce luck, I'm gonna give a +1 to Shugo.
Alright. Easy enough.
Yeah, to his armor class. Lastly, Phantom Pain.
Okay. That
Hell
does
yeah.
actually get through too. Let's see its will save. It rolls a 6. It fails because of that.
Second one, and it now has persistent damage.
Full initial and full persistent damage.
Oh yeah.
Where is the persistence?
1d4 persistent mental towards the top.
Okay, there it is. I'll just put it out so I can get it on. Alright, perfect. This is racked by that phantom pain, and it is sickened, in fact.
Oh yeah, baby. That is my turn.
Okay, lay it on.
Okay, so I need to figure out how stratagem interacts with invisibility. Because it's technically only choosing a creature, not targeting, I guess.
Mm,
Oh, well, nope. Never mind. There it is.
yeah. You are still trying to assess it, and, yeah. But you succeed on assessing it.
Okay.
Okay. I will say,
Alright.
because you assessed it already, you don't have to make another DC 11 check to actually do the firing, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, oh, you assessed it, you found a way to shoot it through, and you already rolled a DC 11, so yeah.
That makes this very convenient, because I'm going to load in the shining ammunition into my crossbow.
Okay.
From way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And I am now going to fire at the will-o-wisp.
Go for it. That's 20 full damage. Critical strike. For a total of 38 points of damage. Well, you don't really seem to need the glowing ammunition. As it's fired into it, it sort of illuminates it for a moment as the creature is struck by that bolt. It actually seems to be an amalgamated sort of ball of red butterflies that shatters upon impact of the bolt. All the butterflies flutter away. It is destroyed by that. Good roll.
Yeah.
Makes will-o-wisp fights very easy.
I hate will-o-wisps so much.
Oh, was that the only one?
Seems to be. You
Well,
tense up for a moment, but there's nothing here.
that could have gone a lot worse, and I'm glad nobody jumped into that ravine and got separated.
What a relief.
Give yourself 60 experience points for that encounter.
Yuga, do you have a moment to patch these electric burns up?
Sure, I don't mind. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Nice.
That's good.
Pretty
My
good roll.
instincts were correct in using the lower one. I'm glad.
Thank you, Yuga.
You're quite welcome.
So, amidst the fog, having taken this path of enlightenment quite far, I think, for now though, we'll have to end the session at our new ending time. So Leon isn't dying. A little bit.
Love
Thank you
it.
kindly.
But yeah, I hope you guys had fun, and thank you everyone who has been watching. It's really appreciated. And I have a Patreon, patreon.com/KoboDM. Lots of maps for Kingmaker, Outlaws, and Season of Ghosts, in fact. These aren't my maps, these are theirs, because they've actually done a pretty good job of adding in extra maps for these smaller encounters. Even so, I have more to come in the future. Anyway, hope you guys had a good time.
Sure did.
Heck yeah, I did.
Great time.
Alright, so, Yuga, you stream over on Twitch?
Oop.
Yup.
Hi there, I'm Chris Coble, the player of Yuga. I stream on Twitch at Twitch TV/Captain_Coble on generally Wednesdays and Saturdays with the occasional late night Sunday stream. Although we might only have one or two more of those. So yeah, come by sometime about 6 p.m. Central Time. It'll be fun.
Okay. Well, hey, that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week at the new starting time of 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Alright, that's it.
Woohoo!
See y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.